Hey guys, Jake Boley with BarBend.com. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing and a review of the Nike Free X Metcon. Alright, so now for the unboxing. The sneakers come in Nike's signature orange box, as all their sneakers do. We pop it open. We have the shoes inside. There's the normal tissue paper within. There's the tissue paper within each shoe. The Nike Free X Metcon model is meant to be a bridge of the Nike Free line and the Nike Metcon line. It's meant to be like a more comfortable wearable shoe that still performs well in functional fitness workouts. The first Nike Metcon model was tested in 2014, and then it was followed by the release of the Metcon 1 in 2015. Then we had the Metcon 2 release in 2016, and then we had the big release of the Metcon 3 in January 2017. The latest model we have is the Nike Metcon 4, which was released last December. This shoe was released in April of this year, so it's still really new to the market. Pumped to give them a try, but now let's take a closer look. So a few construction callouts worth noting with the Nike Free X Metcon. First, there's the mesh material up here on the toe. It's pretty breathable, flexible, and lightweight. Then we have the Nike Flywire material, and that's going to provide a little bit of durability for things like rope climbs and premature wear and tear. We have hoops here connecting to the laces. There's a little bit of give to them, but they feel pretty stable. I don't think there's going to be an issue with getting the shoe tight enough. We have 5 eyelets going up the shoe, 2 of which connect to this plastic wing wrap. This wing wrap comes off the shoe a little bit, but again, I think that's kind of meant to provide a little bit of stability and tightness for the shoe itself. It's a booty shoe without an additional tongue, so I think this plastic wing wrap can help provide a little bit of stability because you can pull it tight and it can kind of enclose the foot. The wing wrap goes all the way around the heel, and Nike said that it's supposed to provide a little bit more stability for lateral and jumping movements. I think it's going to make up for the lack of heel clip that the normal Nike Metcon models have. If we go to the heel, there's a dual density midsole, and then down here there's a layer of a harder plastic, and I think that'll be good for any kind of squat movements or compounds where you're going to be putting a lot of weight into the heel or throughout the full foot for that matter. If we flip the shoe over, there's a rubber surface here in the middle that wraps up, similar to other Nike Metcon models. It's supposed to provide a little bit of durability, stability, and also help out with rope climbs. If we look at the TriStar grooves here, the ones that are indented actually compress a little bit, and the ones that come out of the shoe actually don't really compress at all. And I think that's what's going to kind of provide the shoe with their hybrid comfort and stable feeling. On the toe, we have that material that's a little bit stiffer. I think that'll be good for things like burpees and running, where you really need to drive off the toe. And then on the heel, we also have a similar tough material. I think that'll be beneficial for squats, compounds, cleans, any kind of deadlift movement that you're going to be doing, any kind of thruster. And then lastly, we have flex grooves up on the toe. It's going to provide the shoe with a nice comfortable feeling. As you can see, I haven't even worn these yet, and they already have a lot of give in the foot. So I think that'll be good for comfort reasons and everyday wear and tear. Okay, so for our performance test, since these are a hybrid model between comfort and stability, I really want to put the outsole to the test. We're going to do a couple front squats, we're going to do some cleans from the floor, we're going to do some box jumps with burpees, and then we're going to do some deadlifts. And I want to really test the deadlifts and the outsoles to see if there's any compression whatsoever under heavier weight. Alright, so now how did the Nike Free X Metcon perform? In all of our tests, I thought it performed pretty consistently. It was pretty comfortable, it was stable. It wasn't the most stable cross-training shoe I've tried, like the Nike Metcon 4, but we knew that going into the actual movements. In the 225-pound front squat, I thought the heel was pretty stable, and I thought there was a little bit of give in the front and midfoot, but it wasn't to the point where it actually hindered my performance. I don't think it's a huge deal, and plus, you're probably not going to be maximally squatting in these shoes, so I don't think it's that big of a worry. In the clean, I thought it was nice to have the flex grooves. It was easy to get up on the toes. I didn't really have to break them in for very long to actually perform a movement and hit triple extension. I thought the heel was firm enough to actually ground the foot and catch the weight. Again, I wouldn't recommend these for maximal movements, but for, let's say, a Metcon or a functional workout, I think they'll be pretty good. And the box jump burpee, I like the actual tri-stars here. I love the ones that actually come out of the shoe, helped you actually stick the landing. I felt when I stuck the landing, I didn't have any slippage at all. That's a big perk for me, especially if I'm getting sweaty or if I'm doing burpees and let's say the ground is wet and my foot accidentally glances over it. Oh, that was a nice perk. Also, the toe here gives you that nice rigid portion to actually drive through. And then lastly, I did deadlifts. I wanted to see how the outsole compressed since this is a little bit more of a comfortable shoe. I only used 365 pounds. It's obviously not maximal weight, but I felt like it was pretty comparable to what many people who are going to be buying this shoe are going to be using. And that being said, I didn't notice much give in it. I actually did a couple pulls and bounced at the top just to see if there was any give. There was a tad in the very front, like I mentioned in the front squat, but again, it wasn't to the point where it actually hindered my performance or really was a negative flaw in the shoe. I think that's just something you have to keep in mind. It's a little bit more comfortable but stable when you're actually working out with this model shoe. So when it comes to price, you can expect to pay around $120 for the Nike Free X Metcon. Compared to other cross-training models, that's a little bit less. Nike Metcon 4 and let's say the Nano 8, they come in around $130. This is $10 less. Granted, it's not so zoned in on that functional fitness training, but all in all, I think it's a pretty good price for what this shoe has to offer. When it comes to pros that come along with the Nike Free X Metcon, I really like three things about the shoe. Number one, I liked how comfortable the shoe was. There's the full foot booty and I think it fits similar to a sock. I could see myself wearing this around New York City, walking around for hours on end and not being uncomfortable. Next, I like how lightweight the shoe is. It's very breathable. It's very easy to wear in long duration workouts or if I'm going walking for a couple hours like I mentioned in the first point. And then lastly, I like the construction of the shoe. Personally, I like the plastic heel wrap here. I think they did a good feature by having it wrap around the actual booty. I think that if it was super stiff, you would kind of lose a little bit of stability up here at the heel and the ankle, and I think they did a good job there. Also, I like the Nike Flywire. I think it's gonna last pretty long, especially for things like rope climbs. I don't think these shoes are gonna break down very quickly on you. The biggest potential con I could see somebody having with the Nike Free X Metcon is that while it is a stable shoe and it will provide you a stability in multiple movements with multiple types of weight, it isn't the most stable cross trainer out there. If you need something a little bit more stable, then the Nike Metcon 4 might be a better bet. It offers a flatter outsole, plus it has that TPU construction, so it's going to compress a little bit less. These TriStar grooves do actually compress a tad. Granted, it's not very noticeable in workouts, but again, if you're wanting full stability, this shoe may not be the best pick for you. Okay, so now who could benefit with the Nike Free X Metcon? I think two populations could benefit with using this shoe more than others. One, the athlete that wants to wear their shoes outside of the gym. Not a lot of athletes will wear their Nike Metcons outside of the gym for long durations because they are a little bit uncomfortable. They have the harder TPU insole and outsole. These are a little bit softer. I could see myself wearing these around New York City for a couple hours and still being comfortable. They're flexible, they're lightweight. Next population is the athlete who wants to do a little bit more of a cardio-based workout. And that's not to say these bases aren't stable. This is a pretty stable shoe, but it's not going to be as stable as a flatter TPU surface Metcon. But that all being said, workouts that involve more jumping and running, I think these shoes would be great in. They're lightweight, they're flexible, and they have a little bit of give, so they're not going to beat the heck out of your legs through long durations of heel strikes and running. That concludes my full review of the Nike Free X Metcon. To read my full thoughts on the pros, cons, and who could benefit with this shoe, visit us at barbend.com or Google Nike Free X Metcon and BarBend.